Jeff Stout, the practice manager here at Oasis, and we're going to go into Intact so I can show a few things that are available, that are available now, so you can kind of see, instead of what we have on slides, we'll see it within the application. But you will see that I have Copilot here on my menu bar. That is subscribed functionality. I am running this in a demo company that we have here, a sales demo company. So I have this subscribed in our demo environment. But I mentioned the Copilot help, and that's where I'm going to start. So if we come over here to help and support, you'll see that I have search help in Copilot right here. Okay, and again, this is available to you all right now. Okay, you probably have access to this. Not sure if you've used it, but what does the Copilot help do? Again, this is product specific help currently. The advanced search capabilities that will be forthcoming is going to allow us to do search help on our data that's in the system. But right now it's limited to product help, but it's natural language search. So if I open that up, it's going to prompt me, and this may be similar if you've used Microsoft Copilot or any other Copilot tools. Hey, welcome to search. What would you like to learn about next? Maybe I want to know how do I set up a vendor, right? I can ask how to set up a vendor, okay? And you'll see it's processing here, and it will come up here in a few seconds, and with information on how that I need to set up a vendor, okay, and walk me through that process, give me links to other help. I could have different items, why is my balance sheet not balancing? Something common sometimes we hear. We could ask these types of questions. But again, the point is that we're able to ask natural language search type questions, okay, to Copilot, and it can come back with that information for us, okay? So if we think about where this functionality would go in the future, this is nice for help within the application. But when we can dig into our data, how nice is that going to be when we can say, hey, show me all customers that have an overdue balance 60 days out. Now, that's something I could put on a dashboard, or I could run a report and see that, but I could also just go in and ask the system and have it generate that information for me as well, right? Okay, so again, the Copilot information, the Copilot help is something that is available right now. And let's go up to Copilot here. Okay, so the Copilot that we have here is our variance analysis and our close assistant. Okay, so if I take a look at this, I'm going to jump down here real quick to the close assistant. I'll start at the bottom, and then I'm going to kind of work my way up. So if I go into the close assistant, I can come in and say, look at that, our server might be down. Let's try that again. Don't know why that came up. But the close assistant is going to walk me through a process of closing my books. Okay. Now, you'll see that in my demo system here, I've got books closed through January 2018. Hopefully your books are not that far back, but this is demo data. So I've got a lot of unclosed periods here. So it's going to recognize what you closed the books through and say, hey, what period are we closing now? So I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, I'm going to close February of 2018. And I'll say, okay to that. And so it's going to take a look at the close status and tell me things that I need to do and some things that I need to be aware of. Okay. And you'll notice some of these items have little like exclamation points beside them. Okay. So under accounts payable, it says, hey, you need to review unposted bills, right? There's a little icon there that's telling me there's some issue potentially with that. I also need to close the AP system. There's nothing really on AR. I can go in and click on those things, and kind of the same thing as I go down to the different areas of the system. So I could open this up and say, well, let's look at the unposted bills, and there's a bill out there. So maybe if you're doing, some approval process or something in the system, or people manually entering things in and things aren't closed, you'll have visibility into that information. The system is going to provide you visibility into that. Okay. Same way, like if I want to take a look at unposted journal entries, right? I could go out if I've got some, monthly entries that I run, for allocations or depreciation or something like that out there. I could take a look at those unposted entries, right? But again, more of a step-by-step streamlined process to help through that close. Now, again, in the future, okay, this information is going to be transferred into that close workspace that's going to allow me to assign tasks, to provide, to see what people are doing, to see status of some of these items as they complete the process. Now, there's also a subledger reconciliation piece here. And so let's take a look at that. I'm going to show this in AR because I had less data, so it should run a little bit quicker. I'm going to take a look at my AR reconciliation, and I am going to drill into one particular location here. I could run this across all of my entities, but I'm going to dig into one and apply that filter. And so that's going to process my AR reconciliation. And you'll see here it says that it's going to prepare that reconciliation. Once it's completed, I'm going to see that up here in my insights. Okay. Now this does take a little bit to run, maybe 30, 40 seconds for this to process before it generates. But again, and I did filter this down to one particular entity that it's going to process. But the reconciliation that's coming out is going to show me any differences that it finds between my AR balance on the general ledger and then my subledger balance, and then let me drill into some of the reports. Also provide me some feedback on what might be causing those issues. So you'll see now up here in my insights, I have that, and it says there was a variance detected, and I can view that information and see that I do have a variance, okay, between my GL balance and my AR balance. Okay, I could click on that variance. I could run the AR subledger reconciliation report. That's going to take me right to the reconciliation report to start digging in and finding out what the issue may be with my AR reconciliation. Huh. Okay, so it's gonna run here in the and show up in the insights, but that'll take me right to the reconciliation report in Sage Intacct. Okay, so that is the close assistant with the variance, with at least the close assistant through the reconciliation process. Okay, and let's go ahead and open up that reconciliation report. And we'll open that right here. Okay, so we can see where the information that we need to take a look at for our reconciliation. All right, now when we go down to a new chat, let's take a look at the variance analysis process. Okay, the budget variance analysis. And so if I come up here to the top item and say show budget variance analysis, Copilot's going to process, and it's going to come up here with my budget variance. Now, the Sage Intacct Copilot, when you subscribe to it, there is a little bit of setup. It's really one screen to set up, but let me explain some of the things you can set up when you do that, and it's around variance analysis. If you have department managers that are responsible for departments, or if you have folks that are responsible for locations set up, you can set it up where that they see their information. So I'm going to scroll up here. Emma, I have her set up to look at location 300. So when I open this up, it's showing location 300, right? So there are a few different setup options that you can do, but the Sage Copilot variance analysis, all this is really made to be used fine by an end user, right? Without assistance from a consultant, right? It's pretty easy. Pretty simple process to use. But so you'll see here, and again, some other things you set up. You do set up the account groups that you want to measure against. So I've got a revenue account group, my operating expenses, and my net income, net income here. So you can see the variance that it shows me, where it's got my actual information, budget information, and then variance. I don't have a revenue budget, but then my operating expenses is and my year-to-date amount. I could drill into this amount to see what's behind it. There's some things down here at the bottom I can do, right? Maybe I can say describe the variance, because these are account groups here. But if I say describe the variance, the system's going to come back and tell me where some of those variance amounts come from. So in textual format. So it's going to tell me that, my revenue is way over budget because I don't have budget for my revenue. But even though that my expenses are okay, I can see maybe that, I've got some different information down here. Bank charges, repair, and maintenance exceeded their budget. So maybe that's an area that I need to look at. Now, again, this is information you could find on your own if you ran the report and you drilled into it and you scrolled through each account and account group and open account groups to see where information was. But the system is prompting you, system is prompting you for that information right here. Okay, so just something that's going to make it a little bit more efficient as we go through the process. Now, again, some other things I could do here. I could run a prior period. I could view the financial report. Again, I could drill into information if I wanted to here as well. That would bring up, the dimension balances report to show me, where some of this information is from my actual to budget. So I have that ability then to drill in and dig into the information within Sage Intacct. Look, if you guys are interested in any of the functionality that you've seen, we'd be happy to talk to you. Again, some of this is available right now. Some of this is purchased functionality that you have to subscribe to. Love to chat with you about it if there's interest.